Good evening. This is Reverend Bridge, and I want to talk about negative energy for a little bit. The Most High gave me a series of things that I needed to discuss to put on my channel to help people learn about how the universe works in the sense of energy. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about negative energy this evening and how you get rid of it. Well, it's a lot of ways to get rid of it, but I'm just going to tap on a couple of those things. And I want to give you all some concrete examples about negative energy. So, we all know that there are two forces: good, evil, light, darkness, God, Satan. Whichever avenue you choose to believe, we can go down the list pertaining to religion, but let's just keep it simple. Let's go with light and dark. Light being positive energy, dark being that negative energy. So one of the things that people come to me a lot with is, Pastor, how do I get rid of these feelings of sadness? How do I get rid of these feelings of depression, anxiety, fear, whatever negative emotion? Those are all lower vibrational energies. Those things are of a dark nature. So what Satan or those forces of darkness want you to realize, or what I want you to believe, okay? But for some people, it is a realization because they operate in those things all the time. those energies want to keep you there. You ever notice how you can wake up, you're feeling sad, and then before you know it, it's like you are having a whole pity party. You don't even know how you got there. It's just one thing after the next after the next. Well, that's because those kind of energies are necrotic. They start out little and then it escalates. And before you know it, it's really out of control. Now, let me give the disclaimer. I'm not talking about people who have a medical diagnosis, although I do believe that all illness is of a dark nature because God, the Most High, did not create us to be sick, whether that be physical illness or if it's a mental illness. He created us to be whole, but we know because of sin, these things have basically, dominated our world. So negative energy, I'm going to talk specifically about people who are around you and they can be operating in a dark energy, but you're not even aware of it. So give an example. You have a friend, you all are, you're tight, so you think you are. And every time you do something and you excel, the person you feel in your spirit is really not for you. They're not happy for you. They smile and say, "Yay, I'm so proud of you. I'm so glad, blah, blah, blah." But deep down inside, you're feeling in your gut that this person is really hating on you. Okay. First of all, don't ever ignore your intuition. Okay. Whenever you feel like somebody is working or thinking certain things about you, trust me, it is exactly what you're feeling in your spirit. Okay. The other thing, let's just say if you are, you don't know the person. Now, let's go with the scenario where you don't know the person. Let's just say you join a Facebook group, which I recently did. I'll use myself as the example. I joined this Facebook group because I was just so happy to see people from my generation. I'm Generation X. And I was just like, yes, these people have something in common with me. They remember the first video games. They remember the first computer. So, I was like, okay, I can post into this Facebook group. Well, I made my first post in the group. And the admin person basically said to me, post a recent picture of yourself. And I was just like, this is a recent picture of myself. I responded to the message. And I was just like, what is wrong with this person? So I sent them the message. And then they turn around. I edit the post. And they send another message and said, hey, put a recent picture of yourself. And I was like, this picture was taken on my birthday. This is me. Basically what it was, the person did not want to believe that I'm 53 years old. And I can't help that you've lived a hard life and done whatever, and your skin ain't tight. I mean, I work hard to keep my skin as clear as I can. I mean, I haven't had any plastic surgery. God knows I would love some, but I have not had any. But, thank God I have some pretty good genes. My mom didn't look old when she passed. She was 74, and she didn't look over 60. My dad is 91, and people don't believe he's 91. So don't be hating. Hate the game, don't hate the player. But all I'm saying is that's negative energy, because what it did was it made me feel some kind of way, because this person is putting hate out there because they may look a certain way. Okay, they may look older than what their actual age is. And you hating on somebody who doesn't look their age. So that's all negative energy. So all I'm saying is we all are surrounded by negative energy all the time. The Bible tells us that we are in this world, but not of this world. What that means is, if you believe in a higher being, regardless of whether you call it the universe, call him Yahweh, Jehovah, God, whatever, if you believe in a higher being, okay, regardless of your religion, regardless of denomination, whatever your belief system, but you believe that there is something bigger than you are basically set apart, because you're trying to operate on a higher vibration. You're trying to live a life of peace, love, happiness, so forth. Basically the fruits of the spirit. There are people out there who do not operate on that level. You ever heard that saying, misery loves company? There are people out there who truly love misery. They're miserable. They want everybody else to be miserable. So people have many ways of throwing out that negative energy towards you. And you just have to learn to recognize it for what it is. A lot of times we make excuses because why? They're family members, they're friends. Oh, they don't mean that intent towards me. Yes, they do. Sometimes people don't even realize that they're sending that negative energy out there towards another person. They're just so used to doing things the way that they do it. It's just become engraved into their personality. And so what do? How do we protect ourselves? Anybody that knows Bridget knows that I have embraced all spiritual tools. There have been people that have said to me, oh, sage is demonic. Sweetheart, you could take a crucifix, and people that believe in Satan will turn that same crucifix upside down, and it means something totally different for them. The same cross that Christians wear is the same cross that people that worship Satan use as their emblem. It's just turned upside down. It's all about the intent. So for people who use sage to do, demonic type things and demonic rituals, that's their intent. My intent is, I know I've done enough research and I've done enough hands-on work with sage. I know that sage is an herb. It's nothing but a plant. It grows. I mean, my half sister has it all in her yard. It's just a plant. God put everything here on this earth that we need to be healthy, everything on this earth that we need to fight those forces of darkness. Sage is an herb that when you burn it, it dispels negative energy. So I sage myself and my house, all of my stuff on a regular basis. Number 2, I take a spiritual bath, okay? God has told me herbs and taught me, and I've done the research on top of that, taught me about herbs that help remove negative energy. So I believe in a spiritual bath. I mean, they took baths in the Old Testament with herbs, and they were for a certain thing, okay? I mean, think about the book of Ruth. Ruth took a bath before she went to Boaz, right? And she used these special herbs and fragrances. I mean, it was a reason why she used them. So, a lot of times in religion, we shun things that we don't understand rather than taking the time to do the research, rather than taking the time to do that self meditation and that connection with the Most High, with God, so that He can give us that wisdom, so that He can talk to us, so that He can teach us. You know, we say we believe, but the truth is we really don't, because why? We don't spend that time with God. So we never get to where we need to be. Okay. Another thing, I mean, of course I pray. Anybody that knows me knows that I am praying most of the day. That's just Bridget. I have to stay in prayer. I have to stay in meditation, because if not, my flesh will take over. And I've been saying some crazy stuff to some folks, even though I'm a pastor, okay? Or I've been thought some crazy stuff. So I have to keep my mind and my tongue at bay. And so what works for me is prayer and meditation. Of course, fasting. All of these are spiritual disciplines. I love to color. Coloring is a way to help keep me relaxed, to help me meditate and pray and talk to God and ask Him to remove that negative energy off of me. But my ritual is that I always start with smudging, spiritual bath. And as I'm doing that spiritual bath, I'm praying. And then when I color, that's just my alone time where I'm able, that's what helps me free my mind off of the things that are going on around me. I encourage people to, look at different things, look at what your interests are. Some people like to journal. Some people just like to sit out and just, absorb the sunlight. Some people like to sit out at nighttime. I mean, I like to do all of the above, to be honest with you, but I am really sensitive with my energy because I'm empathic. So I have to go by what feelings I have internalized at that moment in order for me to help get that negative energy off. Of course, if I've done, as they call it, an exorcism or a cleansing, it's a ritual. It takes a while for me to get certain things off of me. It's like a layer. It's like you're peeling an onion away. Okay. So I just wanted to give you all a brief thing about negative energy this evening. This is just one of many, because I personally experienced a little hate in this Facebook group, and I just had to laugh about it because the Most High had already told me that it was coming. But it's all good. I know how to protect myself from that, and I know how to ignore people. So hey, it is what it is. So when you encounter it, do what you need to do to protect yourself, to protect your peace. And this is one of many, but I am about to start being obedient to what God has told me to do and teaching people how to protect themselves, how to cleanse themselves, how to live in this world truly, because we truly fight not flesh and blood, but we fight principalities. And if you don't think that is real, honey, it is real, real, real. So to each of you, be blessed. Mwah. Reverend B here, sending nothing but love and light towards you. Have a blessed evening.